Okay. It looks like we are live again. How is everyone doing today? Thank you so much for joining me again here on YouTube and Twitter Periscope. My name is Jason Levine, and just for the next 10-15 minutes, this is a really short stream. I just thought I'd give you a little sonic preview of some stuff that I've been revisiting. It's been a while since I've had a release, an official music release, and I've got about 3 things tabled that are in various phases of being done, but this one was something that cropped up. I happened to hear it on shuffle, shuffling through my own library of things. Whoops. And essentially, I went back and thought, well, I like this, but I didn't love the sound. So I thought, well, maybe this needs a remix. And this was recorded about 8 years ago. So that's one of the really wonderful things about going back and revisiting tracks or edits or anything is, fresh perspective, fresh idea, different concept, different approach. And so that's what I'm going to play for you now. Now, if you're listening on Twitter Periscope, unfortunately, you're not hearing it in stereo, so you're going to hear this in mono. Although that should be fine because I've done some backwards compatibility checking for mono, so it should still sound clean and nice. It just, you won't get the full stereo image. If you're watching on YouTube, however, you will hear it in stereo and kind of get to appreciate that. So now I can't play you all the elements of this for various reasons. This is, I don't really do too many covers anymore. Mostly it's all original songs, but this is a cover tune, which you may know, and I'll play a little bit of it, and chances are this will probably get flagged on YouTube, even though it's my new recording of it. May very well, just because of the way that the melody sniffers work, but that's fine. So let's go ahead. I'll jump over and we'll just kind of get started and let you hear a little bit of what I'm doing here. And like I said, this is really just if you're watching, if you're listening, you'll get to hear it. So just real quickly, I'll let you hear a little bit of bass and drums here. In the original form, in the pre-mixed raw form. So let me just bounce over to my mixer here. So I've got drums and bass soloed. All effects are currently turned off because I've been working on this for the last week or so, and just in the evening hours. What's up, David Presenter? And kind of let you hear what it sounds like, sort of raw and dry, and then I'll bring all the effects back and let you hear that, and then kind of just reveal some of the things that are being used here. This might inspire you to go check them out. And then play a little bit more of the track for you, and then just we'll call it a day. But I wanted to share a little bit of this. What's up, Arib? And kind of let you hear. So now what's unique about this particular recording, this was a period about 8 years ago, so I was this was during sessions, I believe, for my this children's music show that I recorded called Just Play Music. And one of the elements of that was that I was trying to record everything very organically. And in this particular track, this was, I think the theme of this episode was like the 1960s and 70s. So in particular, where drums were being used and I was playing those drums live, I tried to do slightly different, more 60s style miking techniques. So in this particular one, what you actually see if you look at the mixer is that we have kick and snare isolated on their own tracks, but left and right overheads account for all cymbals as well as the toms. So there were no direct mics of the toms. And in fact, I'll show you in just a second here a video. The kick drum mic itself initially was a distance mic. In fact, I think this recording might be the distance mic. And then there was another version of this that I did where we stuck the mic inside the head of the drum and the stand broke, unbeknownst to me. And so the mic was kind of flailing about inside, which of course doesn't sound very good. But it's all about how you treat it, how you mix it, and again, how you revisit this, which is largely why this has stayed unused, because I thought, this recording was kind of rough. Anyway, take a quick listen here, just first, very dry, nothing terribly impressive, and just kind of listen to what this sounds like. Again, this is just drum and bass, okay? Here we go. What's up, Desiree? So again, it's very open. This is also playing with a custom, I think it's a custom early 70s Slingerland kit. And all the cymbals are also from the 70s and early 80s. So they're a bit darker, a bit warmer. And just to kind of show you, so click over to this. So this was me recording this, and that's the kit. This is actually one of the many kits by my oft collaborator, Chip Hanna, who's played drums for me on many things. So I'm using his kit here, and what you see up at the top, you can see that the two mics capturing the overheads, this is a matched pair of Audio-Technica AT4041 condensers. These are amazing microphones, and you can see how far away they are. So when you just heard those toms, you'll hear them again. There was so much detail and boom, because actually the angle of the microphones is specifically for the attack of the toms. I knew that it would pick up the cymbals in an auxiliary fashion anyway. And again, this kick drum mic, this one, in this take, you're seeing it a little closer. We wound up going with a distance mic and then one inside, which is actually the take of the recording, and it kind of bombed. It didn't sound very good. And then we're just using a 57 on the snare here. Okay, so here, if you just take a quick look at this, you can kind of see. This is the camera mic, obviously. All right. So again, the cymbals are really nice and dark. Very, very, very typical for the time. I mean, they really sound like that era. Hey, what's up, Evil Cerise? Carlo Bot. Yes, Carlo Bot, that is me 8 years ago. Time, huh? Time's an amazing thing. It is crazy. Oh, thanks for sharing, Des. Yeah, no gray hair, no beard. I had my very thick Elvis sideburns back there, and I wasn't working out then either. So, you know, lots of changes. Okay, so now let's go ahead and kick in the effects. All right. And let you hear what this sounds like with some effects on. Take this back to about here, and let's go ahead and play this now. Here, maybe I'll pump it up a little for the stream. Drums are just so fat now. Okay, super thick. Now, part of what's making this as thick and as warm and as kind of 60s sounding is that this I just did 2 nights ago. I added the Abbey Road Waves J37 tape plug-in to this. And if you haven't seen or heard this, Waves just had a deal on this a couple weeks ago. I think it was like 29 bucks. Now I think it's back up to, I don't know if it's back up to its original price. I think it was still $49 last I checked. But this is amazing. Now, there's another favorite plugin company of mine called Softtube. They're based out of Stockholm. I also own they have their own tape plugin as well. Let me see, where is it? Is it a VST? No, is it AU? Softtube? Yes. So they have this version here called, theirs is called Tape. And, you know, similar in terms of the, you know, you see what they were going for. Different kind of settings. Of course, you can choose the different tape formulations, just like with Abbey Road. You can actually go all the way up to 30 IPS. The Abbey Road one only does 15. And then you can add, of course, harmonic distortion. You've got additional settings here for crosstalk. speed, stability, which is kind of like your wow and flutter high frequency trim. This is just amazing. This is an amazing plugin. Both of these are awesome. They can be used for different things, and they have different sounds. But in particular, oh, whoops! I just bombed out there. Sheesh. I think it's because I was adding. Yeah, let's go ahead and send that. It's because I was adding. Let's delete that. Let's reopen it. I was adding 2 of those tapes. It's probably not a slick idea to do that. Okay, let's go back to this. In any case, so that's partially how I'm achieving that super classic 60s fat sound, is that it's all going through this tape emulation, and it is so good. So hold on, now that just happened, of course, now my UI is all screwed up, and I hate it. I really don't like it when my panels are not properly adjusted. So Evil Cerise, you will recall this, in our early days of streaming, we didn't really config the screens quite so beautifully. They're way more pretty now. Okay, so again, let's take a quick listen to this. Let's turn off all effects. All right. And just let you hear what this sounds like kind of raw for a second. And now let's put all the effects back in. I'll bounce this up a little for the stream. Evil Cerise, did I record? Yes, that is me playing my classic Rickenbacker 4003. So, and you can really, kind of hear and feel. That's one of my favorite grooves, right there. In fact, I even made a little I even made a little marker section over here. Oh, thanks, Des. Very cool. Of this fat groove section right here. Add a little noise in there so I can really crank it up. Nice tape hiss. It's probably a little hard to hear on the stream. And you can see that I'm saturating it ever so slightly. In fact, we've got an input boost. I'm pushing it about an additional 3 dB to the tape, which is only pegging the red for a couple little snare transients in there. But that's the thing, is you're getting those snare transients being warmed up by that natural tape compression. And I talked the other day, we were talking about audio effects and things. I was talking about using reverb as glue. Well, when you push a mix, particularly a very digital, well, they're all digital now, unless you're recording directly on analog tape. But if you've recorded to a DAW, and you want to kind of back off some of the digital edge, right? Which doesn't mean that your miking technique was edgy, just that, yeah, digital is not analog. You run it through this or Softtube, it really does. It takes the edge off, and then you get all the benefits of tape compression and the squeezing and squashing and the transient beauty that happens when you push the tape hard. And again, just like the one we saw moments ago, you've got separate wow and flutter, rate and depth controls, tape hiss, Saturation, again, tape saturation. You can actually do tape style slapback and ping pong delays right here. You can adjust the bias. And then you've got your 3 formulations, again, of EMI tape. 815 being kind of the highest, and the latest version that they used with this tape machine, 7.5 IPS and 15 IPS. It's really just fantastic, and it just really gives the whole thing a fat sound. Oh, currently on sale for $49. Yeah. So I mean, if you're looking to get that sound, it's definitely worth it. Carlo, thank you. Looking great today. I appreciate that. Emmanuel, from your last session, you talked about bass drop, bass boom. How can I do it in Audition? You mean the that? Well, what's the easiest way to do it? Well, you could. I don't want to divert too much because I'm gonna have to sign off in 4 minutes. But if you go into something like generate tones, which we have here, all right. What you could do would be to generate something like just a single low frequency tone, all right, a sine wave in this case. So here, let's just take a quick listen here. This is pretty low amplitude. So sorry, this is very aggressive. Hold on, I thought this might be smaller increments here. It's huge increments. So maybe if we started at like 85, 100. I used to be a master at naming frequencies. It's faded as I've gotten older. Yeah. So you could do something like generate 100 hertz tone, okay, like this, for however long, doesn't matter. All right. And, I have it here for 20 seconds. So let's just do this. We don't even want it that long. It's like 4 seconds. Okay. So you could generate like a 4-second tone. And then you could use something like the pitch bender. All right. Where is that? Time and pitch. Pitch bender. To just do a very quick sweep downward. This is actually sweeping up and down. So this is probably too much. And you can adjust the range and semitones, as you see. Yeah, no, we want it to go further than that. We want it to be faster than that. Ooh. Nah. All right, I have to adjust the timing to get it just right. Now, if you're in headphones right now, this is shaking. Ooh, start to get a little sick. So you saw probably about 20 semitones would be enough. 22 is okay. But you just start with something like 100, 105 hertz sine wave, and then you could use this to create that, bass drop, which would create something like this. And then you'd obviously cut it off. You wouldn't need it to continue here, which you could do very easily with something like that. Actually, you probably have to redo this, just shorten the whole wave. It's too long. But you just saw it, right? Right? All right. And that's kind of one way. There's other ways you could do it too. All right. For my life. Oh, thanks so much. Good to see you. Always great to see you. Pixel Warwick. All right. Oh, thank you, Evil Cerise. There are talks. You may see me again there as well. Okay. Let's see. What else? Peter Whiter. Panels need constant adjustment. Been missing lives due to being debelled. Rebelled. Yeah. The workspaces. The thing is, I changed screen reses for the live stream, so it should save as is, but I have to admit it doesn't always, and it does It does frustrate me. I'm going to save changes to this workspace just because this is what I want to come back to. Anyway, does anybody know what song this is before I sign off? Just by hearing the piano and the drums and the bass. Here, let's take it to this groove. Let's see if you can guess from this. You can also hear the bleed of my vocal in the piano mics. All right, I'm going to solo just the piano. Oh, you could read the title, couldn't you? Way to go. Way to mask it out there, right? Oh, nicely done. Well, I'm a doofus. That's all right. It's not like I was trying to hide it from you. I just thought maybe you could guess it by listening. Evil Cerise. You got eagle eyes on the whole session there. Well done. All right. So yes, this is one of probably 2 or 3 covers that I will release again, but because again, I don't really want to do covers anymore. They don't pay anything, and it costs me too much money to release them. But they're fun. And this one, again, having revisited it, I just loved it. It just turned out so nice. So here, maybe I'll play just one little section for you. Again, this will probably get silenced on YouTube, but we'll see. Is there anything you can do with Pro Tools that you cannot do with Audition? That's a great question, Sapio. So yes. There are several fundamental things. The main thing is that Audition does not support MIDI. So it does not support virtual instruments. So if you use any kind of, in fact, you'll notice here, right, everything is played and performed. All of my music, all of which I do, and I still use Audition for everything, even though I started, of course, in Pro Tools and occasionally have to use it for various projects. Everything I do is in Audition, and everything is played and performed. I don't sequence anything. Everything is with these and my amazing inner clock. That comes from years and years of practicing concert piano with a teacher who used to slap my wrists and make me play to a metronome for hours on end. Sounded crazy at the time, but it was a fantastic, fantastic thing to do to really get time, right? To feel time. So there's no MIDI, there's no virtual instruments. That sucks because there's no rewire. So if you want to use apps that use rewires, you can, wire your DAW into other virtual apps. Unfortunately, Audition doesn't do that. We once did in Audition 3. There's no looping engine. So if you use loop files and you want to be able to retime things, you can still retime things, but there's no dedicated loop engine that understands, oh, take this from 120 beats to 140 beats. Audition doesn't have that right now. Pro Tools also has a slightly more expanded surround sound mixing environment. Beyond 5.1, we only do 5.1 here. Outside of those 4 fundamental things, pretty significant fundamental things, but 4, I mean, there may be a few others that are smaller, but those are the big ones. So, I would normally tell most people, because they ask, well, what should I use for music composition? Well, if you use MIDI, you have no other choice you can't use Audition because it doesn't support MIDI. So you have to use something else, whether that's Pro Tools or Logic or, Fruity Loops or Ableton, whatever. You got to go elsewhere. Outside of that, if you are recording live, if you are recording, mic'd takes of things, I love this. And even if you are still using Pro Tools, I still tell any Pro Tools user and stand by this. As far as editors go, right, a dedicated waveform editor, there's frankly, there's nothing that beats Audition in terms of speed of editing, the transparency when dithering, especially from 32 or 24-bit down to 16 for final release. Quality-wise, it's just amazing and completely transparent. So as an editor, I think it's the strongest out there. That's not me working for Adobe. That's just my having used all of them. Everything from Wavelab, which used to be one of my favorites. What was the other one? Sound something? It's still around. SoundForge. SoundForge was great. Audacity is pretty good. But as a straight editor, It's very, very accurate, first of all, and it's just so fast. I mean, to get down to sample level, this is like a single finger gesture here. It's just really fast and accurate, and you've got a lot of ways to analyze your content, not only, of course, spectrally, not only via pitch, but of course real-time frequency analysis with multiple hold positions. You've got real-time phase analysis, for checking stereo compatibility. It's just very, very good. So it just kind of really depends on what you're doing. That's the long answer. Yeah, right. So for podcasts and stuff, it's perfect for that, right? Mm-hmm. See you later, Phone My Life. Thanks so much. Yeah, see Evil Cerise, Reason 10. And as you say, the dithering in Reason it's not so great, right? I mean, I haven't listened in a while. I haven't used Reason since probably version 7 or something. But yeah, even Pro Tools, frankly, the dither, it's okay. It's good. Auditions is transparent. Years ago, I even worked with the BBC. We did some kind of a white paper about this that exists somewhere. And if you're an audio engineer and an audio nerd, that matters, But yeah, MIDI is sadly lacking. So hopefully we get that back. I always tell people, vote that up on our user voice, Adobe User Voice. It's already up there and has a lot of votes, but we just haven't seen it come back yet. All right, friends. So here, I'm going to play you just a couple seconds of this with the raw vocal, which also has no effects on it. It's just... I have some reverb. Okay, I'll probably just turn that off. We'll leave it dry. All right, let's take a listen here. Babe, I'm a man. Baby, I'm a lonely man in the middle of something that he doesn't really understand. Babe, I'm a man. You're the only woman who's ever gonna help me. Won't you help me to understand? Maybe I'm amazed at the way. All right. And there you have it. All right. Hold on one second. Asking about... Oh, did you just upvote it, Evil Cerise? Okay, hold on. I'm going to stick it in the chat there. If I can find the link. Hold on. Wait for it. There we go. Okay, I'm going to stick it directly in the chat. And thank you for voting that up. Oh, it's at the top. There you go. Okay, so if you want to vote for MIDI, see you later, Tim. You can vote for it there. All right, that's the user voice for Audition. So, okay, well, everyone, thank you so much for joining for this brief music stream. I'll be back streaming on Monday, probably on the Premiere Pro Facebook page, as well as on Twitter, Periscope, and YouTube. So until then, have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you again next time. All right, thanks again. Have a good one, and be good to each other. All right, take care. Bye-bye.